effective and positive communications, and 4, effective management of resources. Consent agenda, Mr. Wilson.
Yeah, just normal consent agenda, board meeting minutes, Hayes Rec minutes, site council minutes from Wilson. Personnel, there are no retirements on the personnel this evening. Financials, Chris?
Just shared different things through the notes. A couple of things to point out. There was some roof project, that 3 different ones, but you'll see that was all one invoice, but it was 3 separate projects. One was a part of the scheduled roof replacement, it was a small section at what is Belton now. There were a couple of repairs that were done. You'll see that we had one of our 2 semi-annual payments for SRO. In this one, we'll have another one, and towards the end of the fiscal year. We had concrete project at Hayes Middle, and that's what shared some information. But we had, it started off as just doing the 2 lanes that are the exit, what is exit now at Hayes Middle School. That started last summer. As we got started, they did a tear out. We did not go back in and replace the concrete railway because we didn't need or really want that exit while construction was going on. We didn't want people tempted to use that drive as the remodel was going on. As it was in that phase, working with Mr. Albers and talking through the traffic flow, it was decided instead of just replacing the 2 lanes that were there, we'd add a 3rd lane. So now we've got the left turn, an option to go straight across to Harvest Lane, I think, or right turn, which I think Mr. Albers has helped a lot with the traffic flow. There was an issue though in adding that 3rd lane. We also, so we were thinking, okay, I think the initial thought in Buildings and Grounds was it's $18,000 to do the 2 lanes. We'll add in this 3rd lane, no problem. Don't need to come to board for approval. Well, what didn't get considered is we had to tear out and put in new curb since we were adding the lane, and then also some sidewalks work up on 13th. So the job came in at $26,000, which is over the $20,000. It should have had pre-approval. No excuses. We've talked through the process. I think going forward, it won't be an issue again. Again, no excuses. There were a lot of projects going on, and it, quite frankly, just got missed. So, but that one should have been bid and brought to you for pre-approval. It wasn't.
But it was a good project. It's really helped from when I'm out there in the mornings.
Well, I think it's good, but there's asphalt, like concrete, asphalt, concrete. And I mean, like, it wasn't a completed project, as in,
Right.
like, it still isn't the greatest.
So that little section of asphalt is on the map for final, so eventually that'll get replaced also. It'll be a summer job. I don't know if it's actually this summer or next summer, but it's on the map to get done, to complete it all the way.
That's the last piece of asphalt, isn't it?
That's the last piece of asphalt on that side.
The teacher's parking lot?
Yeah, then the teacher's working with parking lot is good.
Okay.
It will need to be done sooner rather than later, over the next few years. Any other questions? Let me know if those are the ones I wanted to point out.
So were they bid, and you had multiple bids, or they weren't bid?
No,
I
it
was
wasn't.
confused.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
Okay.
It wasn't, yeah.
So, okay, why don't we bid those? I know they're not 20,000, but why don't we just bid them? They get multiple, then we don't have to worry about this.
Well, so when they're under 20, they are quoted. So Buildings and Grounds will go talk with multiple contractors to talk timeline and get pricing, and then go with the best option that we have. It's not a formal bid because it doesn't need to be a formal bid. We don't need to make them jump through those hoops, and we don't need to take the extra time that goes with that. So it was initially, when it was an $18,000-ish project, it was quoted, and then we awarded the vendor to do that job.
I think any time that you're close to that, best practice is to get bids. to get as multiple bids as you can, so you can, and so they know it's a bid process, job. And it might come in more than, under 20,000 more. But if you have 3 or 4 bids, then you can see if they're right where they should be.
So the policy right now is 20,000, that's what we go by? That's the discretion of the board?
The policy is that we do not have to get bids. That doesn't mean that we can't get bids, correct?
But that's up to you guys.
That's up to the board to decide where it is.
Over 20.
No, I meant if they bid it.
But then we wouldn't have these issues if we don't have the process done. We wouldn't have to go back and redo it and apologize for something that wasn't done right. We just did the bid.
Okay, anything else? Anything else?
Nope.
I'd entertain a motion to approve the consent, oh, I'm sorry, are we done? Mr. Wilson, we good? All right. I'd entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I so move. Ooh, I'll second.
We'll take, Mr. Brooks is making the motion. Jamie, you going to second that?
Yeah, I did.
All right, thank you. Seeing no more discussion, we'll still call for the vote. All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Yes. All those opposed, no. Six oh, passes 6-0. Next on the agenda is the public forum. Is there anybody wishing to speak to the board tonight? Okay. Next is 4.1, Hayes 2025 Economic Activity Review. Mr. Williams.
Doug Williams is here to give us all kinds of good stuff.
Maybe not all good. Good evening, board members and staff. Doug Williams, Executive Director of Grow Hayes. Also with me tonight is David Klingen, who is the Director of Retainment and Recruitment for Grow Hayes. First, since Chris was talking about traffic at the new high school, I take my grandson there every day, take him to school and pick him up. And with the exception of the first 2 days, which I can understand, the first day was bedlam and the second day was rain, it's been flawless. These guys have done just a terrific job. And I swear I get in and out of there as fast as I did when I took him to Felton, or Hayes Middle School, I guess. It's always Felton to me. Yeah. But yeah, the only negative is I have to go clear across town to get there. But that's just what happens with those kind of things. But I appreciate you giving me a few minutes tonight. I've got some slides here. I appreciate you letting me use the clicker because I got a lot to go through and I want to go through it pretty quickly. I don't want to take up a lot of your time. Basically, this is maybe. Yep, got to press the right button. Just kind of a review of the economic activity within our community in 2025, kind of where we're at, what we've accomplished. And at the end, I'd like to talk a little bit about property taxes. That seems to be a pretty popular subject these days, and I'd like to share a few comments and some analysis that I did regarding our local property taxes. So last year I did our annual report, and the one thing I talked about in the letter I put at the front of it was momentum. You know, we see momentum in athletics, we see momentum in business, and certainly as a community we see momentum here, and we've had phenomenal momentum the last 5 or 6 years, driven by lots and lots of projects. Maybe. What am I doing wrong here?
It worked once. Hit the button.
It's going to take a little longer than I thought. If you want to just, there we go. Lots and lots of projects. And in terms of completed projects, one that we were heavily involved in is the Bob and Pat Schmidt Community Center. It was finished in August. A wonderful project. The Bright Minds Academy has a child care facility in there, licensed to take care of up to about 80 kids. They've got about 70 or so in there right now. The senior center is relocated to that spot, and they're doing very well. Their attendance is up. And then we have a lot of usage out of the gathering space in the community rooms within the community center. So been a very successful project, and we feel very fortunate that we were able to get that done and have it in our community. Of course, the biggest project that we've had in the community is the addition to the improvements to the schools. And I can tell you that that is a game changer for this community. I know David, he entertains lots of people when they come to town or looking to relocate here and that kind of thing. And I know always on his agenda is to take them through the high school. And I don't think anybody has looked at that facility without just being in awe as they walk away from it. And it makes a difference when people are considering making investments in our community and relocating here, that we have made that kind of investment in our community, and it really is an asset for our community. And well done to all of you for pulling that off. North Vine has seen a lot of renaissance. I call it the North Vine Renaissance. It serves the Astor Bank location at the corner of 27th and Main. They finished up this last summer. Bernie's Truck relocated to the old sale barn location and refinished that spot that used to be the sale barn. And what I found when I run through these slides is we all have our routes that we go when we go to work or we take our kids to school or that kind of thing. Rarely do we get by all of these projects, and it kind of boggles your mind as you go through them. I don't think any community our size anywhere has as much going on as we have had for the last few years. Worth Plumbing and Heating on 13th Street, finished up in 2025. 7 Brews, nice addition in that North Vine Renaissance I was talking about. Projects that are under construction. Gosh, you go on campus, there's just a lot going on down on campus. Forsyth Library is open now. I think maybe they still have a few finishing touches to do, but it is open. Strip Hall is well underway, and what an addition that's going to be. You drive by there and you see how big a structure and an addition that's going to be. And then, of course, the athletic facility on campus as well. The former Path Lab, we're all familiar with that, empty for over 20 years. Now Link is going to relocate in there, or already have. Great use of that facility that sat empty for a long, long time. Talk about empty for a long time. The old bank building downtown is now being remodeled into the Chestnut Suites, be an Airbnb hotel type operation that will allow people to stay downtown, shop, go to restaurants, and for events that happen at the Strand or at the Fox, they can be right there. It'll be a great addition to downtown. North Central Tech or Fort Hays Tech, if you were out there for their grand opening the other day, wonderful facility. It really is awesome, and a great addition to that campus. The dental clinic at the corner of 27th and Hall, it's getting close. I never thought it would get there. It's been a long time coming, but it's getting close. And so, and a nice addition in that facility. The City of Hays is remodeling the old Astor Bank location into a new police station. Credit Union of America going in at the corner of Vine and Centennial. Looks like they're about done. Lewis Chrysler, their collision center, is nearing completion out by Home Depot. Central National Bank remodeling the old, what I refer to as the old Mars Restaurant building, but there's probably none of you old enough to remember that. But originally it was a restaurant, then it was Harfman Accounting, and now it's going to be Central National Bank, and they're really doing a beautiful job with that building. The USDA offices on West 27th, west of the former Vibe location, west of 27th and Hall, going up. The National Guard Armory on North Hall Street is finally starting to come up out of the ground. That picture's a little bit old, but it actually is having some vertical construction now. And then we look to housing, and there's been a lot going on with housing. If you've been down on West 10th Street, Michael Graham and his 48-unit apartment complex continues to progress. The first phase is pretty much framed in. They've got the windows in now, and they've started framing on the second phase of 24 units, so there'll be a total of 48 units there. Ellis Estates has wrapped up construction on the 42-unit addition that was started there several years ago. And of course, you all are very familiar with the Lincoln School project that Michael Graham is going to be building out with some additions, some fourplexes on the former playground site, and then redoing the school itself. He has added a lot to this community in the last few years. Elite Investments building a fourplex just down the street here on 11th Street behind the former Community Corrections building. A lot of people don't even know what's going on there, but that's where it's located. And Aaron Dreyer is putting in units behind North Dillon's that are going to be micro mansions, tiny homes, whatever you want to call them. Ultimately, he plans to put 23 of those units on that site. Tallgrass Edition, Heart of America, has been involved in that. The last of the initial 66 homes are under construction, the final 6. All 66 homes have sold before they were finished, and the demand remains. Unfortunately, we've outrun our ability to get lots completed, but they are currently starting infrastructure on what is Phase 4, which is to the north of those 66 homes, all the way to the interstate. And they'll start in the next 30 to 45 days on the construction of those lots. 101 lots they hope to be done in October, November. The builders that built homes in the first tallgrass areas, the first 3 phases, continue to have a list of about 20 to 25 people on each of their lists that want to be out there. So we anticipate demand staying very strong for those type of homes for the foreseeable future. And this time, we're getting ahead of the game instead of being behind. We kind of got caught flat-footed with that development because we outran the available lots we had. But this time, with finishing out 101 all at once, that gives us a good 5 to 6 year supply of lot inventory so they can continue going and meet the demand. The Grove, which is the area around the community center, we currently have 5 homes under construction in the Grove. 3 of those 5 are sold. And we plan to continue on. Hopefully the demand will remain strong and build that out as quickly as we can. There's 58 total lots, and we hope to build those out in the near term. 2025 housing permits. There were 14 single-family residents permitted, 48 multifamily units, and 4 duplex units. Those numbers are pretty good for the multifamily and the duplex units. We need double that on single-family homes. And we would have that had we had more lots available in 2025 to build on. But when we ran out, that slowed activity. So hopefully we can get that next addition done. They can get started and we can get that up to the 30 to 35 single-family residences a month that we really need. In terms of our business and retention activities, that's a lot of the things David works on. The big news in 2025 was agility. They came to us back in September and said, we are going to do an expansion. We're manufacturing a new hospital bed. We think it's going to be really successful, kind of a state-of-the-art hospital bed, but we're going to have to do an expansion. And we're either going to do it here or we're going to do it in North Carolina. And the CEO of the company lives in North Carolina. And they said, it's going to depend on what you can do for us, whether or not we stay in Hays and Ellis, or whether we relocate to North Carolina. And so David got busy, along with Tim Zimmerman with the state of Kansas. They came up with the incentive programs that are available for an expansion like that. And I'm happy to say that they decided to do their expansion here in Hays, which amounts to retaining the 91 jobs they had. And these are good paying jobs. Adding 140 jobs over the next few years, making a $6.5 million capital expansion to the plant. And if we look at the types of industries we'd like to grow and attract to our community, these guys are perfect. They don't use a lot of water. They're high-tech jobs for the most part. So the people that are trained at Fort Hays State and Fort Hays Tech are ideal candidates to go to work there. And their plans, if the bed is as successful as they think it's going to be, they want to do additional expansion out there as well. So hopefully this is just the start of that. So we'll see. But at this point, it's a big win for our community. The economic impact of those jobs is kind of listed there. $6 million in annual payroll, $8 to $10 million in annual economic impact, $150 million over the next 10 years, and the opportunity for additional expansion that I talked about. Hess Services recently bought a company in North Carolina and moved it here. Ironically, they were the ones trying to steal our business, but Hess bought a company there that makes fiberglass vessels, and they're doing some expansion out there. Will include a few more jobs, not a lot of jobs, but a few more jobs, and they're doing their expansion, and they continue to be a significant employer, significant contributor locally. In terms of business creation, that's another function that we work with. We work with Network Kansas. They have an e-community and an entrepreneurship program. Every year we hold our Kansas Entrepreneurship Challenge, where we try and recruit high school kids to come in and participate in this business idea, this pitch kind of idea concept. This year we had about 25 teams that participated. The winners get to go on to the state competition in Manhattan, which will be coming up next month. So we had that, and we've got some. We also have a loan program, and you'll recognize maybe Israel here with Los Jefes. Israel's a loan recipient. We helped him with some initial loans to get his business going, and he's not only has that business, but he's also started another business next door to Gellas. A good success story for what that program's all about. In 2025, we made 9 new loans to new businesses. We managed 38 active loans for about $2.5 million that we have outstanding to those businesses. The microfactory, we have some occasional chatter about the microfactory. I think people need to understand a couple things I'd like to clarify. One is 0 local tax dollars went to the microfactory. There's a federal grant and private donations. So I get this all the time. Now, I'm tired of my tax dollars going to this, blah, blah, blah. Well, no local tax dollars went to this project. We currently have 3 tenants, about half full. We've got a couple of good prospects. And I'm very thankful that we have a facility like this. When the right opportunity comes up, we're going to be able to act on it. So many times you run into situations where they have a more immediate need, and you're a year or 2 away to build something for them. This facility's ready to go. It's state of the art. We're very fortunate to have it, and we've got 3 companies operating in there now and a couple of interested parties. In terms of business recruitment, we talked about 7 Brews and what's going on in North Vine. The former Roadway Inn is gone. We hope to have a really positive announcement in the next few weeks on that location.
Come on,
Lots of speculation.
Is it true?
There's an old saying that it ain't over till it's over, and that's absolutely the case. But
Don't count your chickens until they hatch.
absolutely, you don't want to do that. But we're pretty optimistic at this point, and we think we're within a couple of weeks of having that done,
cow
and the
commercials.
new company announcing their intention to be here. And so another wonderful addition. You get rid of something that was really a problem. That facility was run down and not very well maintained. You put something very positive in there that's going to draw people into our community. I talk all the time. One of the great resources we have is that there's 15,000 to 20,000 vehicles a day that go by on Interstate 70. Our job is to try and draw as many of them off of that highway to spend money here as we can. And things like Serves, 7 Brews, or what ultimately goes on to that site do exactly that. And we also subscribe to the concept that a rising tide raises all ships. So everybody around them will benefit as well because those people come off the highway. So really exciting what's going on North Vine. It really is a much needed work over there, and we're very fortunate that all that's going on. 24/7 plans to start a new facility out at exit 157, just to the west of Dune and Truck, sometime here in the next 6 months or so. They have committed to go forward on that, so we're going to see some activity there. And again, those of you who were here long ago and have as much gray hair as I do, remember that when Hayes jumped I-70 going north on Vine Street, there was nothing up there. It took that first one to go up there, and once that happened, things took off, and you can see now it's the major shopping area in our community. And so I think we'll see, don't know that it'll be the next North Vine, but I think we'll see a lot more activity. Once that first pioneer kind of breaks ground out there and starts something, it will generate other activity as a rule.
That's west of Celebration Church.
It would be to the south of Celebration Church, between the bypass and Dunan. There's a big lot in there, and that's where it'll be.
On the backside of the Kansas Department Transportation. Okay.
We also, a year and a half or so ago, we were able to purchase the land adjacent to Home Depot with a grant, and we've been working ever since on a retail project where we're trying to attract some big box retail stores. We're getting very close to knowing whether that's going to fly or not. It's a long process. You have to negotiate with tenants, And then once you negotiate with tenants and find out what they're willing to pay for rent, you have to figure out what it's going to cost you to build it and make sure that those two things line up. Well, we know what they're willing to pay. We've identified the tenants. They've given us letters of intent. We now are going through the process of figuring out what it's going to cost to build the building and try to make those two things meet. And I think we're in the next 30 to 45 days away from having a good idea what that's going to be. And then if that does prove to be something that works, we'll start on the process of negotiating final leases with those people and building out a shopping center of about 65,000 square feet, which again would be another game changer in that part of the community. Questions on that part? I kind of went through it fast. I didn't want to bore you with that kind of stuff, but any questions?
That's just exciting. Like you said, you got caught flat-footed, not having enough housing, but it is so exciting to hear about all this going on. Since we were able to get the schools passed, the bond issue passed, we are ready for it now with all the different building and housing. And thank you to you and the city and everybody in town that saw this kind of stuff coming to Hayes.
Well, we've been really fortunate, and we're a blessed community. We have a lot to be thankful for, and I went through some of those there. I do want to hit before I leave, maybe.
Doug, is the county building out north complete?
Yes, it has been for almost a year, I think, Alan.
Was it complete in '25 or was it?
I think it was the end of '24, maybe '25, but I know they disposed of the building they have out there in '25, but I think the end of '24 is when they relocated.
That's a nice addition.
It is a nice facility. I want to talk a minute about property taxes. We have lots and lots of heartburn right now about property taxes, and I think this quote from Benjamin Franklin is true. The only thing sure in life are death and taxes. And we hear a lot of talk about, property taxes are high, and you all, along with your peers at the city commission and county commission, spend like drunken sailors and that kind of thing. And I think I beg to differ, but I thought I'd do a little analysis. And first, let me say, there's no doubt property taxes have gone up. They absolutely have. And part of that is that we voted as a community for a 10% increase in property taxes to pay an overdue bill of 30 years past due. But we've also had other property taxes increases. Valuations have gone up. And what hasn't? If you look at property taxes, if you look at health insurance, not anything that you wouldn't be familiar with as you manage each year trying to deal with what you pay in health insurance for employees. But auto insurance, Ken can tell you all about that, or homeowners insurance. We've had a lot of increase in costs. But first of all, most people don't understand where their taxes go. And I think that's important that people do understand that. They either think they go all to the county because that's who they pay, or they think they go all to the city because that might be the most visible thing that they go to. But they go a lot of places and they pay a lot of things. And so when I get confronted that property taxes are too high, my initial thought is, compared to what? Compared to what they used to be? Absolutely, just like everything else in our lives. But my initial thought, and then I hear these people, we're going to leave Hayes because property taxes are too high. And I think, well, where are you going to go? And so I did a little bit of analysis on communities in Kansas that I would call our peer communities. And most of them are college towns or western Kansas towns. So these are the communities I compared to: Lawrence, Garden City, Dodge, Emporia, and Pittsburgh. And on 12/31, I went out and I went on to Zillow and I said, what's the median list price for a house in those communities? And this is what that was. So you can see, Hayes is certainly not the lowest, but it's certainly not the highest. I then compared mill levies in those communities to what it is in Hayes. And absolutely, Hayes is the lowest of all those. I then plugged in, okay, if I own that median price house in those communities, and I plug in the mill levy in those communities, this is what the property taxes would be on that particular home. And as you can see, we're very competitive in those areas. I then went out and I said, what's the median family income in Hayes? And this is, or in those communities, and this is what it is. Now, a lot of times you'll hear the median household income, and I used to use that number a lot, and it always seemed low to me. And then I did a little bit of research, and I found that college towns, when you use median household income, it gives you a skewed picture because it counts all the college students and the income they make in the overall population. Well, that's not a fair comparison. I mean, you've got 3,500 students here who they maybe work part-time or what have you, but they're not going to make a lot of money. So that skews the number down. Whether you be in Hayes or Lawrence or Manhattan or Emporia or Pittsburgh, that's going to skew that number down. And so that's why I went out and in my research, I found that using median family income is a much better indicator as to what's going on in a community. So that's how we compare amongst those communities. Then I came up with these ratios, and I said, okay, what is the property tax we pay here divided into the median house price of all these communities? And as you can see, we compare very favorably with those. Lowest is better in this case. And then I did the same thing with what percentage of median income is going towards housing. What's property tax divided into median income? And came up with this ratio here. So I'm not saying this is an exact science, but I think it's logical and I think it's based on good information. And so as you can see here as well, we compare very favorably with these other communities. And so I went ahead, I didn't list it here, but I went ahead and I looked at the communities that surround Hayes that would be smaller. And while it's hard to get an accurate look at what the median list price of a home is in Victoria or Russell or someplace, because there just aren't that many listings, it doesn't change the data much. It's still considerably less from a property tax into income standpoint than what other communities experience. So if they're leaving Hayes, because of property taxes, I just don't know where they're going, because they're not going to get any less someplace else. Now, last thing I have, this is a chart I found online from the National Association of Realtors, and it represents the income needed to buy a home in each state. And so that takes into consideration what the home prices are, a certain percentage of their income going towards housing, and then it comes up with the income needed in each of those states. And it's probably a little bit hard to see, but Kansas overall is about the 4th or 5th lowest median income that you need to buy a house. So again, if we're comparing ourselves to other communities in the state, we compare very well. If we're comparing our state to other states, at least from a cost of ownership of a home standpoint, we compare very well as well. So I think it's important as we hear a lot of this concern, and again, I'm not unsympathetic to the fact that there are people on fixed income, there are seniors who are trying to get by on Social Security, and property tax and increases are a burden. But compared to other places, I think we're doing really well. And so I would be happy to answer any questions you would have about any of that.
Thanks for taking the time to put this together.
I appreciate you taking the time to listen to me.
Thank you. I want to thank, even Hayes Daily had one of your information on mill levies, and I saw it, and I had a lot of people comment favorably on that. They couldn't quite believe it, but after they read it.
I fully understand people are frustrated and struggle with all kinds of expenses. So I'm not unsympathetic to those who do it all. But I do think to look at it and get a true picture, you really have to compare ourselves to other places and what their other options are. Now, does that mean we shouldn't do what we can to keep taxes in line? And I have no doubt that you guys do. Every time you meet, you're struggling with increased costs. If you look at the city, the county, and the school district, what is your single largest expense in all cases? It's people costs. And people cost more money now. You've had to give raises. You have health insurance costs that increase. That is just part of the way the thing works. And so those are struggles and unavoidable in most cases. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. All right. All right, next, District Communications, Mr. Wilson.
Yeah, just real quickly, bond update. Of course, you have the O'Loughlin bond update that is, we bring every board meeting. Just a lot of work still being done on O'Loughlin, a lot of drywall being done. The Felton project is coming, they're still de-scoping bids, is what I'm hearing, and it should come to you next meeting for approval of GMP. Also, just our school improvement day, just updating the board. We had our school improvement day just last week. This is a process where we go in, meet with other school districts, that we review our action plan that is part of our school improvement model, and get some feedback and start the process on just tweaking our action plan, and we'll be submitting that soon, and we'll also be bringing that to the board to share at some point. Legislative, I'm not going to get into all the details. I gave you quite a list of new bills. I just think it's crazy. We're 26 days into the session, and I've been tracking this for quite a few years, and man, there's lots of new bills. It's just crazy. So I just wanted to kind of give you an idea of what's out there. Some of them are pretty wacky. Some of them may be good. We'll just see. I won't get into that until we kind of really know what's actually going to happen. Supposedly, last Wednesday was the day that no more new bills can be introduced, except there are some exceptions, things like taxation bills and things like that still could come. And February 19th is just the turnaround date, which means that most of the bills must be passed out of committee by this date to be just considered for vote. So there's a lot out there. If they don't get out of committee, then probably won't happen. We'll just die on the floor. So that's really from an update. That's really all I have.
O'Loughlin's on schedule?
Yep.
And we aren't, any financial adjustments is on budget and everything?
Everything looks good.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Can we get another opportunity to go tour the buildings, the ones that are,
O'Loughlin right now is the only one.
well, we haven't seen complete, I haven't seen completed Hayes Middle School, so I'd like to go back to Hayes Middle School.
Oh, yeah.
And Felton
Yeah.
Elementary.
So we could maybe schedule that for a work session if you wanted to start out there for a work session.
I would like to see Felton before we approve those bids next time, if that's a possibility, but
You want to,
I would like to see the Felton Elementary, what we're talking about doing and where it's at.
we can set up this.
Yeah.
Just get with me and we can
Okay.
set that up, walk you through.
Anybody else?
The only thing is we'll have to be, we have something on the agenda about asbestos.
Oh,
So we're kind of,
great.
behind that, but that's all.
Red tape.
We're two mask. Okay, thank you. Next up is we're action discussion items, 6.1, the district crisis plan update.
Yep, Julie Zollinger is here and she is going to wow us.
Stop it.
After Mr. Williams, good luck. Huh?
It's not connecting. It says it's connecting, ... but not connecting. Restart
want
the
the clicker?
computer?
Is it something you can send?
Yes, I'll take the clicker.
We already have it? Yeah.
Come on, Viner. Break any speeding records getting here?
No.
You don't know. You didn't look down.
Didn't see blue lights.
Do you all have a copy of my presentation?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
I'm going to go ahead and get started, if you guys are good with that.
You tell me what slide we're on.
Okay, first one.
Okay.
Okay, thanks for the opportunity to present this crisis preparedness update for our district. Over the last few years, we've made significant progress strengthening practices, tools, and staff confidence across our district. Today's briefing is an overview of those major initiatives we've been implementing and the impact we're seeing so far. My goal is to give you a concise, clear picture of where we are and where we're heading in the coming year. Okay, next slide, for you guys following along on your devices. So here are the key issues we'll be covering tonight. We'll start with our usage of the Raptor Technologies platforms, we're on the slide 2, which continues to be a foundational tool for emergency notifications, drills, and communication. Then I'll walk through our mini trainings and tabletop exercises, as well as our work with community partners. We've also expanded our resources through our new district safety webpage and safety newsletters. We're looking forward to a formal behavior threat assessment training. And finally, I'll provide an update on the reunification plan currently in development. Each of these contributes to a more consistent district-wide approach to school safety. So do I use this now? You got it. Okay. Next slide. So you just follow along when I advance. Okay, all right. So this slide shows our drill activity this school year. Raptor allows us to track drill compliance accurately and ensures we're meeting state requirements while reinforcing protocols with staff and students. Overall, this shows a healthy level of practice across all major response types. This chart shows our emergency activations in Raptor during the reporting period. Important to note, we have not had 76 emergencies in our district, as some drills were activated as emergencies. What is important is staff are correctly identifying situations and using the system to communicate those needs. The consistent use of Raptor gives us accurate documentation, better situational awareness, and faster, more coordinated responses. Team Assist continues to be widely used, over 800 activations since August 2025. These are non-emergency but high-need situations where staff request rapid support. Our subtypes include medical help, student concern, irate parent, suspicious activity, and front office support. High usage is actually a positive sign, as it means staff are comfortable using the tool and proactively seeking support before situations escalate. This contributes significantly to smoother building operations and student safety.
I guess, do you have a breakdown of that? How many were front office, medical assistants?
I don't.
It's a big number. Can you give that
I
to
don't
us?
right now. Would you like that? Sure.
Yeah. And then as far as the slide before, also, if you can get how many of the activated emergencies were drills versus actual true activations?
I knew, suspected that would be a question. I don't have that. There's no way that the Raptor analytics would tell us that, because that would be going to accessing probably maybe all the administrators and ask them historically, go back on this date when you activate it, was it a true emergency or a drill?
Is the drills not like coordinated through you as far as you know when the drills are going to be happening?
Through Raptor, yes.
Well, through your position or whatnot. So who decides that we're going to have a drill, an activated emergency drill?
That is set by the state fire marshal for all of our drills, not just evacuate drills.
So the fire
He
marshal
sets
should
that.
know if we're doing.
So you know how many there are going to be?
Yeah,
correct?
I mean, should
Do you know
know.
how many fire drills we're going to have per year?
Right. We know all the required drills.
I understand, but we would know
We should be able to get it.
you ought to know the number, I would assume.
Sure, but some drills go through as drills, some people accidentally hit them.
Yeah, sometimes they don't push drill, they push emergency. And then a lot of times, they don't even know they do it, so It's
A
just
lot of times we do it like on Monday in service when there's no kids there either.
multiple
Just
times.
practice.
Multiple times.
Yeah,
multiple
we do
times.
it a lot of times just for practice without any kids involved.
I think it's great, but we shouldn't be able to know drills, accidental pulls, and like true emergencies. That seems reasonable.
I'll work on that.
Good deal.
Thank you.
Thank you. So this table, which I don't expect you to be able to read from your seats, just shows you a snapshot of the staff trainings and tabletop exercises provided to our district staff from April 23 to October 24. In addition, the Transportation Department participated in a tabletop exercise in August of 25. The trainings focused on school safety, and the exercises allowed staff to walk through a realistic scenario, practice communication, and identify areas where procedures could be strengthened. Staff engagement was high, and the exercises helped reinforce roles and expectations. If you'd like to see this in closer detail, you can go upstairs to the Miller Room and look at the poster presentation that Madison and I presented at a national conference. Across all trainings and tabletop exercises, we collected feedback and documented observations. On the what went well side, staff remained calm, followed procedures, used Raptor appropriately, and demonstrated strong engagement. We also successfully incorporated law enforcement, which strengthens interagency coordination. On the improvement side, several themes emerged: the need for more familiarity with Raptor group messaging, more frequent and varied drills, additional debriefing time after exercises, increased access to first aid, CPR, and AED training, and personal safety planning. These insights guide where we invest our time and resources in future trainings. The before and after training survey results show measurable growth in staff confidence with activating Raptor Alert and in their abilities to respond to a crisis. Measurable growth was also shown in the acceptance that we as staff play a critical role in school safety. And finally, the desire for more drills and practice increased from 68% to 80%. These improvements demonstrate that the trainings are working. Staff feel more capable, more prepared, and more invested in district safety practices. Our work with community partners continues to deepen our preparedness efforts. Northwest Kansas Juvenile Justice Authority has provided training and education around juvenile justice issues that impact our students and families. The Hays Police Department has actively participated in our mini trainings and tabletop exercises, which improves coordination in real events. We also now have improved communication between Raptor and Ellis County Communications, or dispatch, meaning emergency calls are more efficiently routed and documented. And finally, we've made progress with the school mapping grant secured by Ellis County Communications, which supports law enforcement access to accurate school layouts during emergencies. One of the biggest improvements this year is the new 49 school safety webpage. This provides families and staff a centralized place to access safety information, general procedures, and resources. We also launched the monthly school safety newsletter, which keeps safety communications consistent throughout the year. A big thank you to Madison Sheeha, another school psychologist and my assistant, who helps me with this work, for creating the monthly newsletters for us. These tools strengthen transparency and help ensure everyone receives accurate, up-to-date safety information. Behavior threat assessment is a priority focus for the upcoming months and highlights our district's commitment to strengthening early identification and intervention for potential safety concerns. The reunification plan is a major initiative currently in development. Reunification is a complex process with the goal of returning students to their families as quickly and safely as possible while minimizing psychological distress. We're currently working on several key components, including staff procedures, site planning and traffic flow, signage, communication templates, core team training, and district-wide staff training. We're taking a careful, deliberate approach so that when the plan rolls out, it is practical, scalable, and easy for staff to follow during an emotionally difficult situation. We've made significant progress strengthening our practices, tools, and staff confidence, and this work truly reflects the commitment of our entire district and community partnerships. Although we've accomplished a great deal, we also know there's much more work ahead. I appreciate the opportunity to share these updates with you, and thank you for your ongoing support of school safety efforts. So I want to make sure that I wrote down your request fully. So Team Assist, you want to know how many of each subtypes
Correct.
this school year? Okay. And how many of the Raptor emergencies that were activated that should have been drills?
Yeah, I think this kind of goes back to, we've had some, it's been a while, but some parents concerned as far as rooms being cleared and how often this is happening. So I'd like some numbers. I'm guessing the evacuation is when the rooms are, we're not, this
That's
is not
when we're
good. This is all
leaving
just
the
talking about the threat overall.
building.
Gotcha, building
Right.
threat. Okay. Yeah, yes, would be the answer, though, as far as true activations versus not true activations.
Okay.
And then I did have one additional question. The website, is that used, if there is an emergency, for parents to go and look at it, real-time updates as far as, police have it under control, or is this just information only on the webpage?
For
said-
our school safety,
Yeah,
our
the school-
49 school safety?
Correct.
Webpage, yeah, that's for anyone, that's public.
Well, I understand, but my question is this like real-time updates for parents, like say that there is a school lockdown, and then this is where they go to look for information regarding that, or this is just general knowledge information?
That, if there was an emergency and communications needed to go out, then that would be the district level, getting it out on all the channels that we have,
Okay.
including the website, but it would not be embedded probably on this school safety
So that's just
webpage.
general
Yeah,
information.
yeah, just all the channels that they send things out on now. Thank you.
Thank you. I have a question. So the training that happened, is it all certified? Is it all certified personnel
The
that's getting trained with crisis and school safety?
We do, those tabletop exercises, yes.
Do you go as far as janitorial staff to kitchen, how
They're all invited.
do they all show up? Most? Some?
Not everyone shows up
Okay.
because they have other commitments. Or
And are you doing it during the in-service
They're on
days?
in-service days.
During in-service days?
Julie, I want to thank you. How long have you been heading up the district crisis plan? I know it's been quite a few years.
A couple decades.
Couple.
Been working on it. With more resources allocated in the last 4 or 5 years, about when we got Raptor
I just want to thank you for
as
your
a supplemental
commitment.
contract. Yes.
Julie, I have a question about
Yes.
Raptor and the budget and the startup costs and the continuing costs, subscription.
Okay.
Was it by a grant, or, I know you do a lot of grants, you have in the past, but, or is it from ESSER, or
I'm going to
it was just out of budget, at risk?
Our budget now. The initial year was part of the school safety grant. After we finished all of the secure entrances, then I think it was the very next year that we did the school safety grant, received money to help with the purchase and setup of the software. Now we have an annual software as a service contract with Raptor to renew, but that's just district-wise.
Do you remember what that is, or?
I don't.
And is it,
Let me look it up when we get to another, before the night's over, I'll look it up.
and is that, what fund is, we fund that out of?
Just general fund.
Just general fund? Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, Julie.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, next is 6.2, update HAVAC preventative maintenance agreements.
Yep. So, last meeting, you asked to get some more information, and rather than me guessing, Eric Dingus from Glassman is here tonight to be able to talk a little bit about our service agreement and answer any questions
Good evening, board members and staff. I appreciate you having me here. I'm Eric Dingus, the service manager for Glassman Corporation. I was asked by Chris and Rusty to come in to discuss any questions that you guys have regarding, I noticed on the agenda, it did talk about 3 agreements that you guys were discussing, but I think right now it comes down to 2, which is the Roosevelt School and the Hayes Middle School, because the O'Laughlin one right now is still under construction. I just got that to Rusty. That's for the addition that's going on right now. He just wanted to have a baseline of what that was going to cost in the future. So the 2 that we are discussing, from my understanding when I spoke with Rusty, are the new Hayes Middle School and Roosevelt. Does that all seem correct to you guys?
Okay.
Okay, that's,
I think we're given the numbers for O'Laughlin.
Yeah, I gave numbers for Laughlin. I guess I didn't understand that part. So basically, on the budget impact, take off 5520, because that wouldn't be in effect until...
correct, after the warranty period is over on that new addition. Correct. I guess I will start with a couple tidbits when it comes down to service agreements. The direct financial returns on service contracts reduce energy consumption, well-maintained equipment operates 30% less than untaken care of equipment, lower repair costs by about 37% when the maintenance is done correctly and twice a year at the bare minimum. Extended equipment life from 30 to 50%, which is anywhere from 5 to 10 years, which is a huge benefit when you're talking about what the cost of the new equipment costed the school and what replacement equipment would cost in the future. Operational value, avoidance of unplanned downtime cuts you down by anywhere from 70 to 75%. Along with the service agreements, you guys get priority service, which means that if Rusty or Aaron or anybody calls, they've got a issue at one of the schools, you guys get put to the top of our priority, which you already do due to the fact that you have agreements with other facilities. Actually, the facilities that we're talking about, we have some other stuff, just we're updating these according to what came out of warranty. Budget predictability. Fixed annual fees turn chaotic emergencies into expenses that are predictable. Fixed operations costs, making it easier to budget. I think, according to Rusty and Chris, that you guys may add a few questions for me. I'm open for discussion for anything that I can help you make understand better.
Yes, a couple questions. Who does the service agreement? Who comes and does your service?
We have several guys. Kurt Stramel is my assistant service manager. Excuse me. He oversees all processes at the school district. He's been with Glassman Corporation almost 10 years. And then we have Angel Hernandez, which is involved in every time that we do maintenance there. He actually went part-time with us. He works with us over the Christmas break and during the summer. He is also the instructor, one of the instructors at the new Fort Hays Tech. Then we put we've got several senior service technicians, including myself, and then we have some guys that we train to do maintenance straight out of OTEC. That is, they have the basic knowledge of heating and air conditioning. They know we teach them how to thoroughly wash coils to our standards of how we do things, checking belts, greasing, checking electrical components, checking charge.
Are the coils washed every time?
Okay, so outdoor coils are washed in the spring. Indoor coils on like the geothermal stuff, rooftop units, they are inspected, and if they are dirty due to the fact that the filters let dirt or whatever it may be, lint got through the coils, we do wash multiple coils every single time, pending on inspection.
Inside coils?
Inside coils, correct. Evaporator
Washed
coils.
every time. So,
condenser coils get washed in the spring for the summer. They're outside, but the evap are inside,
Right.
which get washed. The good part of them got washed when we first started because some of them were fairly dirty already, and then we inspect every single time. And if they need washed, we either set up a time to wash them. If it's during Christmas break, we do it over that time, obviously, because school is shut down, so we don't have to try. And we did some of the stuff this year because we had to wash quite a few coils. It actually drug on. We ended up doing some of the stuff. We worked it out with Rusty and Aaron to let us do it after hours, because obviously we don't want to impede on class time.
So the contract is for 2 times, and so the third time, our own people change?
Yes, if I understand that, I believe the staff does it 2 other times, which is just a filter change. So it's done 4 times a year from my understanding.
Is that all HVACs are changed 4 times?
Yeah.
The filter changes are actually 3 times a year. They do all the filter change one time, we provide the filters, but when they're doing the inspection and service, they change the filters at that time, and then our guys do it 2 other times throughout the year.
Correct.
Why are we providing the filters? That's usually part of the service agreement.
That was set up with the original contract because they wanted to cut costs on filters. They felt that they could purchase the filters cheaper at that time.
Okay, so how much time when you have them come change filters? How much time does that take your guys to do that? I mean, is it like to do it through the whole district? Is it you take 1 whole week?
Oh, no, it's several weeks. We have about, if I put anywhere from 3 to 4 guys on it in the summertime especially, the summertime one is the longer one because there's a lot more coils to wash.
Okay, I had the understanding that the summertime our guys did it. Is that not accurate?
We do the filter change, the
Filter
interior
change.
filter change at, I'd have to look, Rusty gave me the notes on when it was, but we do the filter change, but they're outside doing the cooling towers and all of that stuff.
Correct.
At that time.
Okay, so how long, you said it takes a whole week in the summer?
Oh, with all the separate facilities that we take care of, it's probably, summertime, it's probably five weeks with anywhere from 3 to 4 guys on there.
3 to 5 guys, it works 5 weeks,
Correct.
once a year.
That's the spring, and then we do it again in the fall, which is typically, it's not really fall, we set it up so it was done over Christmas break as much as we can during that, 2.5, 3 weeks, whatever it may fall. And we, like I said, we do not get it done in that time, and then we go into evenings after that. Or what we try to do is we try to do all the inside stuff at that time, and then once, because when we're back in school, back in session after Christmas break, we can still do the roof work during class without any interruptions.
You say the warranty at Hayes Middle School is over?
Yes.
We've just been in there a year, so we paid for a
Well-
service agreement when we weren't using it.
No, so you're talking about the new Hayes Middle School.
Yes.
So there wasn't a service agreement on everything. The only thing that was covered in a service agreement over there was the boilers, cooling tower, basically the mechanical room equipment and the boilers.
But for 6 or a year, it wasn't until Hayes High left. No kids it wasn't on, it wasn't being used, right?
I guess I'm not understanding what you mean.
Okay, we had construction time, kids weren't in there, and units were shut down, but we still paid a service agreement on units that weren't in
The units
operation.
are still on, that's.
The units were still on. We weren't controlling, I mean, we were not taking care of the individual classroom units.
Oh, okay.
That's only,
They were
that's,
dropped off and weren't
Well,
sitting on the floor, so.
we've never had a contract on the individual classroom units and rooftop units at what I would consider the new middle school. Only the mechanical room, which is the boilers, the cooling tower, pumps.
And how long have you had that?
February of '24?
Yeah, so
A
you
year.
remember too, we did the now middle school, at that time was the high school, we did it in 2 phases. We used ESSER money to do a lot of the front end stuff, which was boiler, all of the mechanical room stuff, the cooling and all of that, plus the classroom units on the like the E building in the far south side, right? And then a year later, after that came out of warranty, that
Which I think was this past August,
Yeah.
is my understanding, was when the warranty period ended.
So all the new, we don't have any other new equipment at Hayes Middle School?
the new equipment, all of the phase 2 stuff that was done lead up into bond, which is now coming out of warranty, is what we're talking about adding to the service contract, which would be all of the classroom units and the whatever.
Yeah, it's a total of 162 units.
162 is what I got. Can I back you up a little bit, Eric? So you got 4 to 5 people, 5 weeks in the spring. Is it 4 to 5 people for that 3-week period around Christmas then?
Yeah,
8 hours a day?
yeah. Sometimes longer. It just depends. They try to find a good stopping point. You know, you don't want to stop halfway through a unit.
I guess, do you have just the total man hours, like how many man hours you have in the summertime to do it, and how many man hours you allot?
I do not have a report of that with me, but I can get that information.
I think that'd be helpful to see how many
Yeah,
hours.
it would be broke down by facility. It wouldn't be, I mean, I could put it together on overall, but we can definitely state what we spend, the time we spent basically in the last year of taking care of those buildings.
Okay. I mean, just the preventative maintenance, like not. the
Right,
stuff.
right,
Okay.
yep,
So
yep.
you can get those numbers.
Yeah, we can definitely break that down, that's no problem.
I think that would be helpful. Because with your presentation, I mean, I think everybody agrees, at least I hope so, that preventive maintenance is important. The number just seems high as far as, 200 some, so $153,000 a year is what we're proposing, I guess minus 5,000 if we're taking O'Laughlin off there, but 150,000, and I imagine once the high school comes out of warranty, that you guys are going to come back with another one, so we're going to be pushing north of $200,000 a year
Right.
in preventative maintenance. At what point, that is just to identify potential problems, but we still pay above and beyond that for, any sort of actual repair. At what point does it make more sense to hire somebody or bring it in-house? And the other big problem I have, I guess, is that it wasn't bid out in the first place, so we don't know what the best number is. You very well might have the best number, but we just don't know.
Right.
I think that figuring out the billed man hours would be helpful. I guess, go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Good.
The reason why, from my understanding, with talking with Rusty and Joe and Chris, the reason why we were doing this is this was in addition to service contracts that we already had in the buildings. We haven't bid anything on anything new. The new stuff would go out, from my understanding, out to bid.
Well, yes, I guess I was talking like the whole picture. It didn't go out to bid last time, it's not going out to bid this time. I understand this is a continuation of buildings that are already covered,
Right.
but there was no bidding process for a rather large expenditure. That's
Okay.
nothing to do with you.
Right. So
I guess-
if I break that number down a little bit, just to give you an idea, so we're at $61,000 with the Roosevelt and Hayes Middle School. That breaks down to, you break that down over the 184 because you add the two schools together. That breaks down to $331.52 per unit of services, which comes down to $165.76 a time that we touch each one of those units. With our service rate being $125 an hour, it doesn't take long to exceed that to when you go to do a service call.
Can you, hold on, can you repeat those? I can't write that, I don't write that fast.
So the total amount between the two service agreements is $61,000.
Okay?
You divide that by 184 units across the two schools, which is the new middle school and O'Laughlin. That comes up to $331.52 per unit per year. If you break that down, being as we do it twice a year, it's $165.76.
Okay, so
We're not including filters, because we're paying for the filters.
Correct.
Okay, that's.
That does include chemical that we use to wash coils.
Okay, that's the new Hayes Middle School and Roosevelt, or is it O'Laughlin?
Roosevelt.
Yeah, we won't-
Roosevelt. We're not touching, did I say O'Laughlin? I'm
You did.
sorry.
You're all
I
right.
meant
I'm just-
Roosevelt.
I'm trying.
Sorry about
Okay.
that.
You're all right.
Well,
Okay.
I mean, that's more than your hourly rate, and for maintenance, I can't imagine that you're spending more than an hour at each unit.
When we do the full maintenance in the spring on a rooftop unit, it's anywhere from 2 to 4 hours per unit. Washing coils, dragging hose across the roof, getting set up, chemical.
Well, I find that kind of hard to believe. If you're already, I mean, I can see if you're doing onesie twosies, like taking the hose down completely, then bringing it back up each time. But if you're already there, just moving, bam, bam, bam. I've talked to other people in the field that have the number at a lower, number of hours to service each one.
Do you have the number of rooftop units? Because that's quite a few. Not as very many.
Look like most of the people.
So on the Hayes Middle School,
So there's 25 rooftop units, 14 of the DOAS air handlers, and 100 of the 162 is heat pumps, basically.
water source heat pumps.
Which, from my understanding, those are harder, kind of a pain to get to sometimes because of location, but not as much as actual upkeep on them as far as.
Yeah, we clean Y strainers, which is water flow going through those units to keep for heat transfer, cool transfer, filters, checking blower motors, checking wire connections.
Now, if any of those, like fans and blowers, they have a 5-year, 10-year warranties on some of those units that are
Most
fairly new?
commercial equipment has a 1-year warranty, but if it is a situation, we always, yeah, the company or the industry standard on commercial equipment is 1 year. That is something that we always confirm before we order a part. If we can get it under warranty, we always do. That's off a serial number based on date that either the equipment was started up or it was released.
A lot of this equipment that you're maintenance is new equipment, or fairly new, just a couple years old.
Correct.
I guess as far as monitoring, like, do you guys monitor this all remotely and have?
Yes, we are set up through the control system which was installed by BCS, and we have 3 of our technicians that get email alerts, and they are broke down off of I don't know, the importance.
Now, there are the controls, BCS. We have a service agreement with them.
No.
So that's a question I can't answer.
Yeah, we pay hourly.
And so,
Any support for them.
and then they come from Wichita, right?
Correct. They do some of it remote. If they have to come on site, they're coming from.
So we have a contract, or just part of a warranty from using their controls?
So as stuff is coming out of warranty, they've had conversation with us about setting up, considering service agreement, but right now, there's still been enough in warranty that we haven't brought to you a service agreement for them. It's just continuing to pay if there is repair or services they have to do as hourly.
So I just have a scenario. So if there's no air conditioning in the gym at Hayes Middle School, the new Hayes Middle School, does Tom have the ability to get it on, or does it have to go to Glassman, or do we have to call Wichita to have them go through their service and take care of it?
It's going to depend on what the issue is.
But it's going to go to our buildings and grounds, and then they determine what needs to happen. If they don't have the ability to do anything, then they'll probably contact BCS or Glassman.
Correct.
I don't know.
You talking turn it on, or you talking if there's a
Well, I'm
problem?
just saying there's not, like, this is a situation that's happened. It was a weekend, and it wasn't school in session, but where there was a
Some of that
basketball games going on.
Some of that could be due just to a scheduling conflict, and then whoever does the schedule can go in and look at that to make sure that it's occupied. Sometimes some of those schedules get missed where it needs to be on for a event that's going on. I'm not sure who does. Do you know who does your guys' scheduling?
All through the scheduling, we haven't.
That can't happen now.
Place, huh?
That can't happen now. We have people on staff that will
Well,
be
it
able
could
to
happen.
do
If
that.
somebody didn't put in an event, yes, it could happen. Anything could happen. Jeff could get sick and forget to put it in. But there are multiple people in-house that can go log into the system.
We can override it.
Turning it on, yeah, we can take care of it.
To override
It's
it
all
all.
handled through our event planning platform. So if there's an event, Bruce puts it in, it gets scheduled to run, and I can take care of it. I was thinking you're asking, so if it's broke, who's going to fix it? Well,
No.
It's going to depend on what's broke.
A few moons ago, there was times when we had to wait to contact Wichita to turn on, those days are gone.
Yeah, again, if something was broken, yes, we're going to have to go to Glassman or we're going to have to go to BCS. But if it's breaking, everything's
Yeah,
working and somebody just misscheduling it, we've got multiple people.
Good.
And we work hand in hand with BCS on that stuff. So say it's a situation, Rusty calls or we catch it, we usually communicate with either Rusty or Aaron and say, hey, we're seeing these alarms. Are you having problems? Have you complained? Because sometimes we do get some alarms that aren't always legitimate, but for the most part they are. So we communicate with them, and a lot of times, like we said, we work hand in hand with BCS. So Rusty will say, hey, go see what you guys can figure out, communicate with BCS, and then a lot of times we'll work with BCS to get the issue resolved. So they don't have to come out here.
So Chris, what has changed that when we hire licensed plumbers and electricians, are they not able to take care of the changing the filter? I mean, we're paying for them, we're hiring them a lot of money to come out and change the filter for, I know there's a little bit more to check them, but this is new equipment. We shouldn't have issues. It shouldn't be a problem. We shouldn't have very much maintenance, but we're paying a high, hefty fee to have a service agreement on new equipment. That, I mean, our people can't do it, just pay the hourly rate, because it'd be a lot less than $100,000. And is this a multi-year agreement? It's 5 years?
So what we did on the ones that we're proposing right now, we put them from January 1st of 26 to December 31st of 29, and all the contracts, or not contracts, all the service agreements that we have with the school district would all expire at the same time.
Okay, but it's February, so we've already lost a month, so 1/12.
Right, but there's not any maintenance that's done in January. Your first one for the year would be spring. Your second one would be winter, fall of 26. So you're not.
So we're paying for coverage that was not really needed for that time.
But they wouldn't have done anything anyhow.
Up to this point. Not on these buildings.
And to clarify your question, I mean, you're talking, you just said it takes 3 to 4 people, 5 weeks. We don't have 3 to 4 people that we can put on this for 5 weeks to change filters.
Well, first we have,
Go through the
To clarify, yeah, if you're saying change filters, yes, 2 times a year.
Yeah, we
we
can
change
do
filters.
that.
What we're paying for is
coils and everything.
They're just a lot more technical than.
It's the maintenance and the expertise of what to look for problems that can prevent larger problems.
Yeah, no, I get it. I had some. So as far as the alert, you said it goes to an email. If there's like something emergent, do you guys get notified in the middle of the night?
Yes.
Okay, so.
When we were having, just to give you an example, when we were having boiler issues over at Roosevelt, the very first boiler failure that we had, I got those alarms at 2:30 in the morning, and I had guys within there in 45 minutes. That was going to have the whole building cold when they came to school that next morning.
Okay.
That's why it's.
Including myself, I was there.
That's why it's so nice to have you local and expertise. We're not worried about the Wichita, and I've heard from the board over the prior 4 years when I was here and back on the board now. It is so good to have local vendors being able to do this, and we've got to rely on your expertise.
The other thing that I've had brought to my attention by Aaron, I talk to Aaron from time to time, he told us after we did one of our very first going through equipment, the amount of problems that we eliminated, he said was incredible. It just made everything run that much smoother.
I guess the contracts, are they auto renew unless, can you cancel them at the end of the year? The service agreements we have now, what party stayed yesterday, or these?
Yes, they can be canceled at any time. We ask a lot of times for written notification so we can, track that and keep it in our records. The other thing that they had asked me about, Rusty asked me about this morning that I wanted to clarify, he had mentioned that one of the contract or agreements had mentioned something about an increase from year to year pending on the going rate of, say, cost of living expenses. I've been with Glassman going on 26 years. In the agreements that we've had, we have never adjusted those in the timeframes that they are set up for. So if there's a 3% labor increase this year, you're not going to see that next year or the following year. We're going to we're going to absorb that, and when they go up for renewal, that's when we adjust.
When are you scheduled to do the spring maintenance, like
We start as soon as school is out.
for spring break?
Schools.
Sorry, spring.
Summer, when school is out, we get started.
Like you said, the first ones were in the spring, I'm sorry.
Well, we consider it our spring,
Okay.
but we do it a little bit later just due to the fact that's the way it was set up. That's what Rusty wanted us to do. We go hand in hand with him on how he kind of wants things done.
That makes
Good
sense.
communication with him.
But the industry standards and what does the manufacturer say, how often should they be changed?
Well,
Are we doing that with the other, with the,
That is a lot depending on location. Filters should be in a commercial application, obviously quarterly, so that's 4 times a year, which we are doing. Washing of coils is depending on the environment. Typically, if we wash them once a year, we get past that. Cotton's, we take care of the cotton. The other thing is that we have done for Rusty in the past is if we wash them early, say we wash those in April or May or June, sometimes our cotton is not done flying until after the 4th of July. We all see it. If we go back on one of those units that is dirty, we will wash that and put that time to the service agreement. So there's not an extra charge. It's just general maintenance. It's not worth fighting over that, and we feel that that is a service that we owe you.
I guess, just kind of wrap this up so it doesn't go. My thought is, I'd like to see the number of man hours that you have on each of these projects, to see whether we're actually getting a good deal as far as it sits now, it'd be $165 every time you touch one. How many hours are you actually spending touching them? My other thing is, I would like to see if there's a possibility of, canceling the contracts, put them out for bid for 2026, the next school year, the calendar year, I guess, or however we're going to break it down, to see if we're actually getting the best price. I mean, whether we approve this until the next, my motion would be to table this for now, pending the results of what you tell us for the number of man hours. But my overall goal would be to bid it out with local contractors to see if there's a better deal to be had. And if you're the best deal, then by all means, I think we move forward. But I think that we owe it to the taxpayers to try to find the best deal.
Rusty's got something else going on.
He was out. He's not here. He's not able to be here tonight. He can be here next meeting.
Because my question is, if it's Dr. Yarmer's, is how many businesses do we have that could even have enough people that can do that?
Well, to clarify, I mean, if we bid it, we put it out for bid, and it could be anybody. If somebody from Wisconsin wants to drive down and do the service, we would have to take the lowest bidder.
Okay.
we don't have to.
We have to take the lowest bid?
Yeah, unless it's within.
well, unless we,
And it's exact.
unless we find we have some issues with the
Yeah, I
company
mean,
that
all
we don't
all
feel.
other things being equal, you take the lowest bidder that can meet the.
But the board
requirements.
could select a higher bid at the local level. That's,
It's got to be within 1% of the.
Okay. I have another question for Chris. So, in December 2029, will all our buildings be on some type of maintenance contract by then?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
all,
So we're getting close, like Eric said, we're getting close. The high school is the newest
Right.
building. It'll be the last one to come out of warranty, but that's going to be this summer. And so the plan right now would be to go out to bid for the high school. While we do that, the only building that isn't under a service agreement right now is the early childhood campus. It's more residential type. I don't know. I'm not an HVAC guy, absolutely, but it's more residential type. We've been doing it. But the plan at that point, when we go to bid the high school, would be to go ahead and include ECC. So we've got every building under a service agreement that would end 12/31 of 29, unless, I mean, that would be the plan right now. If that changes, then we would adjust it.
I guess I don't see you're talking like it's a good idea to bid out the high school, even though we could open up to people from all over, but yet it's not a good idea to, potentially,
Yeah.
I think bids are a good idea no matter what. I hope it stays local. I'd want money to stay local, and business and the responsiveness, I think, is great. But at the end of the day, I think we put it out and let all our local people bid it, and whoever else, and see what happens.
And don't we have a year of warranty, and isn't it part of the agreement that they work with our maintenance people for a year, like he was talking about?
That's been, Glassman has done that on the jobs that they did before. That's not a part, that wasn't a part of any of the other Jobs, that's just something they basically.
So the high school doesn't have an agreement for
Yeah,
you?
so just to go back, the current service agreements were bid in that they were procured off of state contract. Part of it was because Glassman had installed most of that equipment anyway, and so we picked up there. Again, you can end them and you can go rebid it if you would like. But they met bid requirement. They made sense at the time when the board approved them. If you want to adjust, we can certainly adjust.
Okay, so ECC and the new Hayes High School,
ECC has never been under.
no, but they will be bidded.
Right.
They will go out to bid
Right.
next year.
I think it makes sense to have everything bid at that time when the new high school's going to come under and go with whatever number works.
Then we need to also look at our staff now. I mean, we're taking a lot of work that they used to do. Do we need to cut
You've
back?
already answered, they don't have the manpower to do that.
But with
We have
$200,000.
more than we used to, and we have less buildings than we used to.
So the equipment, I mean, again, I'm not the HVAC person, Eric can talk, but to do service in this building, it's a boiler with 2 valves, and so there's no service. The high school is all automated. I mean, all of that stuff is completely different. It's not the same level of expertise
Yes.
required to do it. It's
Agreed.
not the same level of time to do it. It's not something that our staff would be able to complete, and Rusty can talk more, this question about like what do they do? We'll have to talk about that, but to accomplish what you're doing here, you would add a significant number of FTE, or you contract with an expert to do it, one of the two. And whether we take it out.
Or we hire somebody that can do it. Or we hire somebody in staff that can do it.
But
When you talk
but
about,
I think the problem,
The man hours, I think.
yeah, the problem gets to be if we're hiring them and it takes 4 to 5 people to do it in 5 weeks, we're not going to have 4 to 5 people. We're going to have one person, and they're not going to get it done in a timely fashion.
Well, the way I had it figured out, at the,
Big maintenance crew.
so at the proposed $153,000 that it was going to be with the Laughlin, if you divided by that by the $125 per hour, that'd be 1,227 man hours, that we could pay for at your hourly rate, which equates to 40-hour work week, 30 of them throughout the year, based off of paying the $125 an hour. Now I know there's other added costs to have an employee with benefits and that sort of stuff, but heck, you can hire a HVAC guy, $80,000 to $100,000 somewhere in there. You get to I think that we should look at other potential. Look at Alan's thought about maybe hiring somebody, or at least bid it out to all the local people and whoever else wants to see what the best deal is. So I move to table this until we can talk to Rusty, see what we're capable of doing, in addition to getting numbers as far as man hours spent through Glassman.
I put motion to table.
Well, all right.
Until more information is provided, that's all. Is that enough?
Yeah, I think that's reasonable.
I'm writing. Okay. So, I have another question before we go down that road. Is Glassman, would they even be agreeable to only do the Roosevelt and the Hayes Middle School for 1 year until we bid the whole package? Is that even an option?
and will that change it?
That's a Joe
A
Glassman.
couple of things going on here that we probably need to consult with.
I understand.
Glassman as we go forward. One would be, how much information can they share publicly if they know we're going to bid?
Okay,
And so
that's fair.
We don't want to put any one bidder in a bad spot where
Sure.
they're having to show their cards first.
Yep,
We want
yep.
everybody to be able to show their cards at the same time to make everything fair. And then as far as adjusting any of the contracts or proposals, we'll go work with them and see what they're willing to bring back, given the conversation as it sits down.
Yeah. I mean, that's the information I would be interested in. can we take care of these for the year, if they're willing, and then if we're going to bid the other two, bid all for a 3-year package or something. Okay, that's my concern. Okay, do we have any, okay, so Jess, did you get it, or do I have?
I have the, there's a motion to table this decision until more information can be provided, and Alan Park seconded.
From, and that information is from Rusty as well. We're asking for Rusty's information about it. Manpower, what we have, is that correct? I'm just making sure we're right. Is that what you're asking to do? Okay, and when we're going to table it till the, you're asking to table it till the next board meeting? Is that correct?
Yeah, available to be here.
What,
So you're asking for 2 weeks, right?
Can it be here?
I don't know, but that's what you're asking for, in 2 weeks.
So I guess motion,
Okay?
Rusty can present to the board manpower and get the information we asked for from Glassman as far as man hours
That's correct.
man-hours used per year on the preventive maintenance agreements.
Okay. Everybody clear? Okay, so we are going to vote on, the motion is to table the current agreement until the next board meeting, in which we can hear from Rusty to prevent information about manpower and services they can provide. Is that correct? Okay? Go ahead.
services they can provide, he went through all the services
No, we want to know what we're asking Rusty to come and present what they can provide.
with existing staff.
Yes,
District maintenance staff, not custodial staff.
correct. What they can do with what they got. Okay? That's what he's asking. Okay?
We're just kicking.
I understand, I understand. Do you understand what we're?
I understand.
Okay.
I
Okay.
agree, but I understand.
Well, you can vote no, or yes.
Thank you.
Okay, all right. All those in favor vote yes.
Discussion, more discussion?
Do we need more?
Do we need more?
Well, you
I think-
you should ask for it, so
I did, well,
moved in second, any discussion?
okay.
So
Do you have
all
some-
I want to know is, he mentioned that this period of time right now, moving at one meeting, there's not much other job that we do, so something like that.
We got that. Okay, are we ready? All those in favor vote yes, yes. All those opposed vote no.
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 The motion carries.
Passes 3-2.
Does not gotta be 4. You need
Oh, okay.
It's got to be 4. so it's
Okay,
passed.
all right, fair enough. I'm sorry. Just counting bodies. Okay, so now we are back to the main motion. Motion to approve updates to the HVAC, I don't know where it's at.
Here, let me.
Can you find it
motion to
for me?
approve- I'll make the motion to approve updates to HVAC preventive maintenance service agreement with Glassman Corp. to add equipment as Roosevelt and Hayes Middle School at $61,000 annually.
So that's,
So
Yeah, that took out-
Did not include, the Laughlin took out that amount, and so we're just talking about the middle and
and we're talking $66,520.
61,000.
61. we
Okay,
just dropped
that's fine, okay, 61. And that's for the 3-year deal. Chris, that's till 2029.
Yes, through December 31st, 2029.
Okay. All right,
Yeah, I made the motion.
Ken did. Do we have a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any more discussion?
I guess if we vote this down, then we can just move forward with the table.
If it's voted no, it will have to move on.
We'll move on to another discussion.
Correct.
It
It'll move down the road. Okay? All right, are we ready to vote, Jess? Okay, those all in favor, vote yes.
Yes.
All those opposed, vote no.
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 I lost it.
Okay, so it fails, correct? Motion fails, 3-2. Next up is, thank you very much, Eric.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me,
Appreciate it.
and I'll get you the information you guys are asking for, and I'll I'll get with Chris and Rusty, and we will
Please,
be
and
back.
thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time. Next is 6.3, District Administrative Personnel Contracts.
This is your recommendation to extend district administrative personnel contract extensions for an additional year for 2027-28 school year. This includes all our administrative personnel, directors, anyone who oversees programs. You have the entire list in front of you.
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr. Park.
I move that we table this till the next meeting.
Okay.
I second.
You want to table it? His motion is to table it to the next meeting. And you're seconding it?
What would be the reasoning?
Hold on. Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
I just want a little bit more information that I feel like can't happen until we have our executive session.
And I didn't hear you.
Sorry, I want more information that we cannot obtain until executive session. In addition to that, I don't love the fact that it's like one big fat lump. That sounded really gross. But
But it's always been that way.
Okay,
I understand, I just...
continue on, please. Okay.
By separate, I mean like building administrators from district administrators?
So you'd like to vote for them in groups? Is that
Yes.
correct? Okay.
And then I'd like to say, as far as you're just wanting to go into executive, we could do that. I mean, you could move to go into executive and us have that discussion tonight without having to table it.
Good.
Mr. President,
Hold on. Are you good?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, Mr. Park.
this is a basically new contract. If you look at the other contracts that we've had in the past, this has been redone. We haven't been involved in that contract.
So if you look, I gave you contracts all the way back to 1991. You can see that there are semantic changes. There's no, what I would consider structural changes. Bill ran through it. Bill's not here tonight, but Bill ran through them and concurred and agreed or signed off on the contract template this year.
Did KSB look at it?
No, I sent it to our council.
Okay. KSB, that's what they do all the time, is look at contracts. This is a new contract. I agree with where we haven't done directors in the past as a 2-year contract, and this has a 2-year contract.
If you look back to 2016, there's examples of directors for 2-year contracts.
And which position was that?
You can see the templates that are in there.
I saw that, but I'm just asking which one was it?
Transportation director, but I just pulled a sample to show.
But the majority of all the other directors have not been on a 2-year contract, so this is a
So in
new,
2016, maybe it was only the transportation director?
it sure was. It might be that
We
one.
can go pull, if you like, we can go pull more
I don't,
than
I
a sample.
just,
I thought that was a decent sample.
the other thing is that, we have not talked about this in contracts. They should be split out and done separately. And there's other things that are not listed that we know about.
If we do it separately.
What are we talking?
Split out separately? What do you-
Like Jamie was saying,
I mean,
that
like,
central office and is what I'm talking about.
the other thing is like, I feel like this warrants a certain level of discussion, and we have a lot on the docket tonight. We have a lot. I think it's worth it. I want more time to look at it. I want to understand a little bit more about the administrative contract. I don't know much about it. And then, I don't know if it's for raises or for administrative
This
contract.
is just extending one.
No. That you give an update on how each administrator is doing, like,
We've done that in the past.
yeah.
Yeah, and that would have to be an executive session.
Yep. but we have done that in the past.
Sorry, I was very discombobulated. It froze. I'm here.
I called KSB and asked them about it. They said, well, you're kind of ahead of the game because normally we do these later, especially directors are usually done later, like March. Everyone is on a 2-year contract now, except I didn't know that the directors were, but we don't normally have non-classified staff on 2-year contracts. Normally, I didn't know about the transportation one, but that.
Okay, so we would like them, so the discussion is superintendents in a group, school principals in a group, directors in a group. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah.
That's what we'd like to see is being discussed.
I guess, as far as the documents on here, the contract, when were those added? Because I thought I looked at this Saturday morning, and I did not see that those were listed out, the contracts. Were they already uploaded at that time? Okay.
I also had issues opening the second document earlier today. It only let me see page 1, and I did not realize there were 8 pages.
Well, it kind of struck me, I didn't get a chance to look through it all today because I glanced Saturday, I did not see these. And I don't know if it opens up differently between Apple versus, because I looked at it on, I don't know. That's fair.
Mr. President, can I say something on behalf of the public? As a member of the
Yes,
public,
go ahead.
I would object to you guys going into an executive session unless you are only specifically talking about specific people. If you're talking about groups of people, that has to be done in public.
Yes. Yep.
Just so we're clear, we
Yep.
do understand that. Executive session is not about the group.
It's about each individual within the
It is
group.
about an individual, but I do believe the response to that individual is important to take note into if we choose to extend a contract to an administrator.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I understand.
Yep. So, yeah.
So do we.
And then, like I was telling Jamie in the past, the discussion from Mr. Wilson has been about each individual in executive session. That's what we've done. Okay. Anything else?
I would agree to table this till we get the full board for the discussion.
Fair enough. Okay. So, we good? Seeing no more discussion, Jess, do you have the motion?
That motion is just
Table the discussion of administrative and director contracts to the next board meeting. Okay? Then when we've had a motion and a second, correct? We shall call the vote. All those in favor vote yes?
Yes.
Yes. All those opposed, no? Passes 5-1. Okay, next is 6.4, Hayes Middle School kitchen.
Yeah, you just had a bid, we had 2 bids, Sunflower Restaurant Supply. I had the winning bid for a couple of steamers at Hayes Middle School for $20,700. Need approval for that.
Okay,
I make a motion to accept the bid for steamers at Hayes Middle School from Sunflower Restaurant Supply for $20,700 as presented.
thank you. It's been moved. Mr. Park, your second. And it's been seconded. Any discussion about steamer bid recommendation?
I just had a quick question. It says that it was budgeted in capital outlay. It's not on the 5-year outlook. Was this thought to be one of those items that was going to be less than 20 that didn't need board approval until we got the number, or?
No, if you look at the very top, in the operations business, we have, I think we actually budgeted $70,000 for equipment replacement this year.
Okay, so just
Ken and my son wants me to vote no. He doesn't.
So has it been purchased yet? And so all the restaurant equipment we have, Purple Wave, that's all just surplus?
Okay, but they're not a steamer for what we're talking about, though. All right, any other discussion? Okay, seeing no other discussion, we shall call for the vote. All those in favor vote yes. Yes. All those opposed, no. Passes 6-0. Next up is 6.5, school bus purchase, yellow activity bus.
Russ is here.
All right.
Good evening.
Good evening, Russ.
At the last board meeting, Mr. Hipp had put in your packet kind of a snapshot or working document of all the school buses and activity buses with a replacement time for every bus that we have. So I did not include that tonight since you had it last board meeting. And then he mentioned that I would come to the board meeting tonight to talk about seeing another school bus. I did have $350,000 budgeted this year for school buses. I was trying to get 2 school buses. In October is when the new Kansas State bus purchasing has the new pricing. So in October, I went in and filled out the form for 2 buses. That was about $30,000 over budget for 2 buses. So visiting with Chris, we decided that we would purchase 1 school bus this year and have the balance of that money be used somewhere else in the district. So with that, we're constantly reviewing our buses, what repairs we're putting into them, and then adjusting our 5-year purchasing plan. As our buses get older, our repairs go up, our reliability and safety does go down. So when I say this fiscal year, I'm talking starting July of 2026. And the reason we do that is because if we agree to purchase a bus tonight, it takes over 6 months to get a bus. So once it comes in, it's on that new fiscal school year. So we're kind of doing it ahead of time, but since it takes so long to get a school bus, and we've done that for several years now. The next thing is that the bus vendors are telling us that we get into March, after March sometime, that the prices could go up because of all the tariffs that have been involved here the last few years. The market's too unstable, so after March, that price could go up a little bit. So that's another reason trying to come in and get our price locked in right now. The next thing I talk about is the 3 slides you guys have in your packet. I think everybody here has seen those slides before. The one that says retirement year talks about what buses we have, the mileage we put them on a year. So does anybody have any questions on that slide?
That's the first one, correct?
I'm sorry?
It's the first one.
Yes.
No.
When you retire a bus, is it year and mileage, or?
Retirement is you can't have a bus over 25 years old, a school bus.
So it automatically retires?
You have to get rid of it at 25 years.
Put too many miles on it?
No, the miles doesn't matter anything.
It's just your recommendation if it breaks down?
Yeah, it goes off the title date, manufacturer date, actual manufacturer date.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, the next slide I have is the 5-year plan for transportation. That's a working document. We look at that depending what buses we're having issues with. But so I kind of break it down in the next 5 years what we're looking at for buses. So this year we're looking at they call it a yellow activity school bus for $234,604. And after that, it's some estimating of pricing and what buses we're looking at rotating out each year after that.
So the yellow activity bus for 2027, 2028 is the one we've moved down?
No, we actually
Was it the
moved
wheelchair bus?
a route bus down a couple years.
Oh, you moved it down a couple?
Yeah, we moved a route. Going with the yellow activity bus, and we're a route bus. I'm moving it down a couple years. Yes. Okay, the next form is just the what we're looking at for a yellow activity school bus. When I say yellow activity school bus, that's the longer yellow bus. It's got the flat nose, and we dress them up a little bit on the inside. We put interior storage underneath or inside, and then we add charging ports for their phones and computers. They have lights and air conditioning kind of like, above them. So we dress it up a little bit to give them some comfort doing homework or doing things while they're going down the road. So and it's a backup route bus. We use this bus a lot for middle school sports, some for high school sports, and a lot for elementary field trips and around town and stuff when we're taking, we go to Roosevelt, we're taking 600 kids somewhere. We need those bigger buses to do that. So, and it's also considered a backup route bus for us if we need it to. So it's got the stop arm and everything. So it's got some, variety of uses we can use that bus for. And we got 3 of them that we use right now. So I'm looking at replacing one of the same bus, and then when it comes in, then we would sell it on Purple Wave. So like I said, what we're looking at tonight is the lowest bid of Kansas Truck, $234,604. The other bus quote was from Midwest Bus Sales, and obviously they're a little bit more.
And so we got an activity bus going out then, or we're just adding to the
When
fleet?
this one comes in,
Then we're gonna-
7-8 months down the road, once we get it serviced, then I'll surplus the other one on purpose.
Somebody's earmarked to go out.
Yes, on that first sheet, it's the very top one.
Okay,
It's considered a bus 333. That's the one that will rotate out.
fair enough.
How many vendors did you?
I'm sorry?
solicit? How many vendors did you solicit to get it?
Well, this is on a Kansas State bus purchasing contract. There's really 3 manufacturers, and one of them doesn't produce a bus like this, so that's why there's 2 vendors on this.
That's okay, thank you.
I'd like to make a motion to accept bid from Kansas Truck for $234,604 for a yellow activity school bus.
Second.
Yes, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Using FY27 money.
Fiscal year.
So it'll be paid for out of next year's budget.
Come in after July 26th. It'll come in.
I understand what you're saying.
Thank you.
Next year's.
That was my fault.
Okay, we're good? Okay. Seeing no more discussion, we shall vote. All those in favor vote yes. Yes. All those opposed, no. Passes 6-0.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Russ. Next is 6.6, asbestos removal change order for Felton Elementary.
Yeah, if you remember, a few meetings ago, you approved the asbestos removal at Felton, which they've been working on that. But in the scope of the work, there was carpet inside the library, and there's also 2 classrooms inside the library that was all carpeted. Once they started pulling up the carpet, it was just tile, the same tile underneath. So we need to remove that tile, the mastic. So what you have is an addendum, I guess, to the original contract for $26,199. Same price per square foot. And also they're not asking for any additional remobilization fee.
So when they came out to bid it, was it told to them they were pulling up the carpet and, I mean, they were supposed to look underneath it?
They bid the tile. I think everyone was assuming that the tile had been pulled up underneath the carpet.
But to be clear, all of the people that bid it that way, so no matter who, it's not like they bid less and came back in and said, oh, but we have this.
Right.
All bid assuming that.
I didn't know the tile was underneath the
Well, you
carpet.
make an assumption that you run the risk of being wrong. Like, I feel like your due diligence is to look, you know there's asbestos in the building, you know that you're doing flooring, like, why do they not catch this and work into their bid? I'm sure it's going to get passed, I just think that they should have to eat some of it for not doing their due diligence to look at it.
Nobody caught it. So the due diligence was done because everybody missed it.
No, everybody's incompetent, it doesn't mean due diligence is done.
But I think it was.
We can't all be Dr. Yarner.
But I think adding the square feet, you're still going to end up with the same price anyway. Okay.
Chris, doesn't the asbestos plan have all the asbestos in our district? And is our asbestos plan up to date?
Yeah, that question was asked a couple of meetings ago and provided all the information that I got. As I understand, the asbestos plans are built off samples every 2 or 3 years. But if you look back over time, they evolve over time because things get missed. We didn't know that there was asbestos in the window glazing on this window, so then it gets added to the asbestos plan, things like that. So,
But every building has all that listed in the asbestos plan.
but if things get added to it over time as additional things get added.
Actually, it shouldn't have any. We're pretty much thinned it all out. So there shouldn't be really any asbestos files anymore.
After one more, so now that with this, and we've made everything, it has to get tested one more time, and then assuming they don't find anything on that one more time, then the building is pretty clear, we never have to do any more testing in that. We're at the same boat as at the middle school now, with the last round of abatement, assuming when it gets tested one more time, that nothing else is found, we didn't miss one room, or miss one window, or miss one insulation leg, jack, whatever they call it, then it won't have to be tested. And those are the,
Okay.
I think they're the last.
I'll hold you to it.
Yeah.
So,
But we still have a Laughlin gym.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's why.
Okay.
That's really the last of the last.
Any other, yes, Ms. Burke?
The tile is not asbestos, it's the mastic, is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
So we don't have any friable asbestos.
Okay. Anybody else have any other questions?
I make a motion to approve a contract change order for the removal of asbestos tile for $26,199 from ISI Industrial Services.
Thank you. Is there a second?
second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any more discussion?
Yes, is there a reason why this company wasn't bid on the other projects?
They bid on all the projects, all of the asbestos projects.
ISI from Wichita has been?
Okay. Okay, anybody else? I shall call the vote. All those in favor vote yes.
Yes.
Yes. All those opposed vote no. Passes 6-0. Okay. Next, the board may go into executive session in accordance with State Statute 4. The motion to go into executive session for personnel matters for non-elected personnel in order to protect the privacy interest of an identifiable individual.
Say 15 minutes.
I got two questions, or a question. There's a possibility there may be action, or there's probably not, there won't be any action?
No, I mean, I don't
I just want to make,
determine that. I'm not planning on it.
okay,
You don't really have to tell anybody if there's action or not, because you guys you might determine that you want to come out.
I understand that. I just was going to make an announcement. So,
Hard to
okay,
tell.
so as at this point in time, okay. All right. And we're looking down in the training room, and so we will meet at 8:35, and Mr. Wilson says 15 minutes, so we are going to try and be done at 8:50. Fair enough. Those attending are as Mike Baxter, the attorney that's representing Mr. Bill Jeter, Mr. Henderson, the Board of Education, Mr. Wilson, and Mr. Hipp. Okay, that's the motion. Is there a second? I have a motion and a second. Any other, well, we don't need discussion. All those in favor, vote. I'm sorry, I am so sorry. All right. Mike Baxter, Sean Henderson, Board of Education, Ron Wilson, and Chris Hipp. 8:50. So we have a 5-minute. I made the motion, seconded by, yeah, Dr. Yarmer, sorry. Okay, we got, I apologize. Okay, all those in favor vote yes? Yes. Yes. All those opposed vote no. Passes 6-0. Okay. Okay, I'm folding it down.
Who said 45 minutes?
Gets owes me $100.
Yeah, right. $100 and a fancy dinner.
We need